Evidence by Cameron Lewis. So the title will be Evidence. I've chosen this name because I'm doing a cop drama, and the title seems fitting. It has sort of an element of mystery to it, and you don't really know what to expect from this title. But this is good because I don't want to give too much away when people are watching the show. I sort of want to leave it a bit to their own sort of imagination, if you like. So there will be a crime in each episode for this. So, but it won't be the same detective all the way through, which is normally what happens in a crime drama. So it's going to be a little bit different, and it's going to have a different detective each show, instead of necessarily a different criminal each show. So this is an opposite of this show. I'll take a very British approach. This will be similar to the show Luther, so the crimes will be the same sort of line as Luther, such as murders, kidnappings. But the unique selling point of the show is that there will be a different detective per episode, who will at the end all link together at the end of the series to uncover one large crime. The genre and theme of the show will be based around police and cop dramas. I'm trying to stick with the theme of British cop drama, as I prefer this to any other kind, because, for instance, American cop dramas are very sort of violent and just explosions and guns and that. I'd rather go for the more British approach, where you can actually get an idea of what the crime is and how it happens, rather than them just finding somebody to blow up for no reason. I want to take a sort of slightly slower paced approach to it than what would be in an American TV show as well, so that it has sort of a more methodical feel and more of a detective show rather than just a police show. So the medium of the show will be aired on Netflix. I've chosen this platform because more and more people are now moving to on-demand streaming, and they prefer that they can choose when they want to watch their show. They don't have to just sort of watch it when it's on. They can watch it whenever they want, and this is, in my view, a better way of boosting the popularity of the show and getting more views, because people can watch it when they want. The first episode, I'm only making one episode of this series so far, but the episode will start as follows. So there will be a crime in this episode that will consist of a young-looking male with long dark hair strolling along the London Bridge. Right, he then tosses into the river some sort of package. He then quickly makes the decision to jump back into the river to try and retrieve it, leaving his clothes on the top of the bridge. He's clearly realised he's thrown something that he shouldn't have done. But as he impacts the water, he breaks his collarbone and has to go to hospital. The middle of the episode is where the detective begins to uncover what's happened in the crime. He then visits the place where the package was dropped into the river to try and retrieve some intel or even some evidence. In a moment of madness, the detective jumps into the water also to try and retrieve the evidence or find something to sort of work out what's gone on here. But as he hits the water, he has sustained the exact same injury and breaks his collarbone, also ending him in hospital. At the end, when the detective gets to the hospital, he's in his bed and realises the person next to him has the same injuries as him. So he decides to ask how it happened, and then realises he has no clothes with him or any possessions. The detective finds that they got their injuries the exact same way, just a few hours apart. He knew this could be no coincidence. The episode then ends with the criminal being arrested, but we don't find out why or on what grounds. This is a cliffhanger ending. The purpose is to entice the audience for the next episode. Running time. So the running time of the show will be 1 hour per episode. I feel like this makes it seem more like a sort of short film than it is just a half an hour episode, which means that you get more time to watch through and sort of develop what's going on, instead of just having half an hour episodes and then you've got to wait for the next episode to be put out, or keep swapping episodes if you're watching a whole series at a time. So I just feel like hour-long episodes is a much better way of sort of showing what's going on in a cop drama, because there's quite a lot going on per episode. So I've taken 2 scenes from my show to talk to you about. So scene 1, this will be set in the heart of London on London Bridge, with the main character and detective investigating a crime where someone threw a mysterious package into the river. They need this back for evidence. The detective then jumps into the water to try and retrieve it. This ends him up in hospital with a broken collarbone. Scene 2 follows on from Scene 1, where the detective is found in the hospital. While he's there, he ends up talking about another patient who also jumped into the river and sustained the same injuries, working out this is no coincidence. Character list. For this show, I need a few main characters for each episode, some that carry on in each episode, and others that are sort of just for one episode. So each episode will have a different detective. There'll be 6 episodes in the series, and the last one will link all the detectives together, so I'll need 5 detectives. The police force will be the same throughout all the episodes, as they will be sort of less main characters and they're just background. The criminal will also change every episode to make it seem more realistic. Possible characters. The detective in the first needs to be extremely gritty and hardcore, as it is action-packed an episode. The grit to grip the audience. For me, this meant only one choice. The actor has to be Idris Elba. He's amazing in cop dramas. He's done all sorts. He's done cop dramas, rom-coms, comedies. He's a very versatile actor, and he can do anything that I want him to do. I should have tell him what to do, and he can make a great job of it. He's also very good with interrogation scenes I've watched from Luther. He really knows how to build the tension in the scene, making it a really gritty sort of scene. So this would be great for the first episode to really give it a bang. Possible character for the criminal. I have gone for Daniel Radcliffe, but when he had long hair, as he fits the brief I was going for. And he looks kind of like a thug with long hair. He's also obviously a great actor. He's been in lots of very big shows and films, so he will be very good at doing what I need him to do. He would fit the sort of stereotypical teenage thug look as well, I think, because he doesn't look as possibly old as he is. And yeah, he just looks sort of rough and ready. Target audience. I've chosen the target audience will be 17 to 30-year-olds, as it will have humour and an aspect that both the young and slightly older people will understand. And this will be able to take their own way, meaning how old you are may change how you see the programme. This will mean that the audience will be a wider span, making the views rise and have an overall greater income. So Ofcom, according to the Ofcom database, the show would be rated a 15, as there are many instances of violence, drugs, strong language and crime. The show doesn't promote these acts and only hints at them in different parts of the TV show that could cause distress. So here's my budget. I've given myself £75,000 to spend, and 14 days of prep and 14 days to shoot. So this goes through sort of all the main things that I'm going to need: writer fees, obviously director fees, all the different things you need for casting, so lead names, scene numbers, all the important things that you need for a scene. You also have costs for such things as cutting room, where the editing's done, data transfer, sound editors, dubbing mixers, final mixers, all sorts of things, stills for publicity, miscellaneous things such as mobile phones to contact people, etc, etc, etc. You have the contingency, and I've also left myself a little bit of spillover, so the grand total is £72,100, but I've got 75, so I have a little bit more if needs be. You obviously also have things such as cameras, directors for cameras, electricians if anything was to go wrong, and many more things: costumes, hair and makeup, things that need for a show, and then obviously people to use these, and if they go wrong, how to fix them. So here's my production evidence. You've got what I did on what day. So on the 1st of the 4th 2019 the script was written, and then we go to when the budget was set up, how we found the production office, etc, scouting of locations, cast actors, talent, all of this. Gives you an overview of when it was started and when it was finished.